Hello everyone. Now today I'm going to talk about ancient Greek tragedy. Why I have chosen this topic? First of all, because all the modern theatre that we have today, this ancient Greek tragedy is the basis of all the of all the modern theatre we have now. So ancient Greek tragedy that started in Greece in 5th and 6th century BC, and that plays were very popular. Okay, and earlier that there was a word called dithyrambs. They are the hymns, and they were performed in order to please the god Dionysus. God Dionysus, he is supposed to be the god of wine and of vegetation. Okay, so he is associated with the tragedy because earlier that, as I told you, that the plays were performed in order to please Dionysus. People, they would be just using mask, and earlier three forms, that three forms of drama, they were very popular. The first one is comedy, tragedy, and the satire. So Aristotle, he is known to be that the person who had given his definition of tragedy, because he considered it the most sublime literary form, and he based his definition of tragedy while on the basis of the three great tragedies, the Greek tragedies. So the three main Greek playwrights whom we are going to talk about is, the first one is Aeschylus, and the second is Sophocles, and the third one is Euripides. So Aeschylus, he and before that there was a man whose name was Thespis. So Thespis, he is called the innovator of tragedy, and he was merely an actor, and then that some dialogues also came into tragedy, and then there was an entry of second person, second character, and the third character. So all these things started taking place in tragedy with these three main playwrights. It has been their contribution to tragedy. So Aeschylus, he is known for because he had written many tragedy, many plays, but only few survive. And one of the most famous plays written by Aeschylus is Oresteia, and that is a trilogy, and that is based on Agamemnon and his wife Clytemnestra, and their son Orestes. So if you look at the plots of all the tragedies which were written by Euripides, Sophocles, or Aeschylus, they were largely based on the myths, the Greek myths, and the epic written by Homer, Odysseus. Okay, so Agamemnon and Orestes, all these, they are the character. Okay, they are the characters there. And then Sophocles, he came, and he that he contributed a lot, and with the masterpieces that he created, like Oedipus Rex, Ajax, Prometheus Unbound. So among all the Electra, and among all the plays that he wrote, Oedipus Rex is considered to be one of the greatest tragedies ever written in the history. And then came Euripides. Euripides, he is known because for reducing the role of chorus and including Deus Ex Machina in it. Okay, Euripides, he brought tragedies, and he brought normal character as well. Like that there is a wonderful tragedy written by Euripides, and the name of that tragedy is called Medea, where the Medea, who is a female protagonist, and she kills her own children in order to avenge her husband Jason, who was going to get married again. So these three great playwrights, and there were so many others, that, but these three were prominent. And afterwards, Aristotle, who had contradicted Plato as by giving more importance to mimesis, because he says that mediums are different. Okay, so, and then he says that tragedy, he considered tragedy is the most sublime form of literature, and he says further that tragedy is an imitation of an action. And what kind of action? That action is serious. Okay, and it should be complete in itself, it should have some magnitude, and magnitude means it should have a proper beginning, it should have a proper middle and end. And what kind of language? He also talked about language, that the language, it should be elevated, it should not be like the common language or the day-to-day language or the normal language, but the language should also be embellished. Okay, then it should be in a dramatic form, not in a narrative form. Okay, narrative, it should not tell a story, but rather all the action should take place. Action is very important, and that should be performed. It should be in a dramatic form. Okay, and the incidents, they should be closely linked together, arousing pity and fear. And the pity and fear, what Aristotle termed as catharsis. Okay, in order to accomplish catharsis of such emotion. Okay, catharsis, we can say that it relates to the purging, or we can say the purgation or the cleansing of soul. So here once again we find that how he is just proving himself that tragedy, finally, it would be elevating the human soul, it would be uplifting the human soul. Okay, and then he also talks about that there should be a tragic hero. Okay, and he also talks about the elements of tragedy. What kind of elements that he talks about? Let's know that there are 6 elements of tragedy according to Aristotle. The first one is plot, and plot according to Aristotle is very important, because according to Aristotle, plot is the soul of tragedy. The second thing is character. Characters, they are agent who performs the different roles. Okay, the character is very important, and he says that a tragedy can happen in absence of the character, but not in absence of the plot. So plot according to Aristotle is the soul of tragedy. Then characters. Then the third one is thought. Then fourth is diction. Fifth is song, and the sixth one is spectacle. So all these 6 elements, they are very important. Okay, and among all these elements, which one is more important? That is plot. Aristotle also talks about the tragic hero. Okay, what kind of tragic hero? That he should not be a normal, or we can say he should not be a common human being, but rather he should be a person of a noble birth. Why noble birth? Because you are not going to pity and sympathize with the character who is a normal, or we can say the person of a lower rank, but rather he should be a person of a higher rank. Okay, then as he says that the tragic hero will most effectively evoke both our pity and terror if he is neither thoroughly good nor thoroughly bad. That means he should not be absolutely good, he should not be absolutely bad, but rather a grey shade person. Okay, and this tragic effect, if it will be stronger if the hero is better than we are. Okay, that means he should belong to a higher rank of. Okay, and the third one is that he is of a higher than ordinary moral birth. Such a man is exhibited as suffering a change in fortune, some kind of change takes place in his fortune, and that makes him pass through from happiness to misery. Okay, and that change takes place not because of any external agent, but rather It takes place because of the error of judgment. And who commits that error of judgment, which Aristotle calls hamartia? That is the protagonist or the tragic hero. Okay, so hamartia stands for error of judgment. Okay, and then this tragic flaw, it is also called hubris, or we can say pride. As remember that in Oedipus Rex we have the hero called Oedipus. Oedipus in his hubris, okay, in his hubris, that means a kind of arrogance, he kills his own fatherless. Okay, so that kind of arrogance, or we can say that kind of hubris is there. And then afterwards he also talks about the dramatic unities, and those three dramatic unities, they are very important and they are related to plot. What kind of dramatic unities? Unity of place, unity of time, and unity of action. Okay, so what kind of unity of place? That means all the action that should take place at one place. Second one, that there should be a limit of time for the action taking place. Okay, it should not be or should not exceed, okay, more than a definite hour. And the third one is unity of action, and that is very important, and that is carried forth afterwards also. Okay, that is unity of action. That means all the incident, they should be closely linked together. There should not be any kind of digression. Okay, thank you. So we shall be reading more about Aristotelian tragedy, Aristotelian concept of tragedy, and we shall be focusing more on the different tragedies later on, like Senecan tragedy, or we can say the Roman tragedy. Then we would be coming back to Shakespearean tragedy, and we shall find that how Shakespeare, he made some difference. Okay, so till that, goodbye.